Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and essentially do whatever our creative hearts desire. Today, we are going through a book haul. There was a free book day at my internship, and we could get up to 10 books. So, of course, I took advantage. Why would I not? Now, included in this book haul is an ARC and an extra book that I bought while I was out and about and just decided to go into a Barnes. But other than that, it's a good amount of books, and there will be another book haul on the way, probably in another couple of weeks, to be honest with you, just to nestle it in amongst all of the Halloween content that has been coming out lately. Sorry, not sorry, y'all. As y'all can expect, I read a lot of horror and thriller. Why would I not be into Halloween? So, I'm excited to show y'all what I got. There are some cookbooks in here, which I know is a little bit of coming from left field, but I thought I would share those too because I know for myself, I don't really necessarily have a ton of recipes committed to mine, and looking things up on the internet has gotten a little bit repetitive. And I decided maybe I'll get cookbooks. Maybe that'll change things for me. Other than that, we have a graphic novel. I somehow bought an audiobook by accident, so we will get into that. There's a memoir in here, as well as some like bestsellers. A lot is in this video, but it shouldn't be that long today. So let's get in the intro and get into it. So like I said, there was a free book day. Apparently, one of the publishing houses that I was interning at does a free book day where you can get up to 10 books. And I would ham. I was like, say less, say less. But before I get into those, I do want to show y'all an ARC and an amazing graphic novel omnibus that I got. First off, for the ARC, I got Mouth Stories from Paloma Ghosh. There it is. Let's get into the cover. Beautiful cover. This came in a PR package, which was dope. It came with like those hair store lip glosses that are like amazing. Shout out to Astra House for putting me on their PR list and giving me like a cool PR package. Honestly, that's cool to me. I would love. Thank you for that lip gloss, because that's the best, as many know, that is the best lip gloss there is, to be honest. Let me read a little bit to y'all about what this is about. I mean, I will never get used to probably getting PR packages of free books. Like, this is my TBR shelf, physical TBR shelf, and keep them coming. I will keep on collecting books and giving me things to read. Give me things to read all day, every day. Dear reader, I can hardly believe that my first book, All Paper and Glue, is in your hands right now. I feel so grateful. Please enjoy these stories while eating a beautiful piece of fruit, picked out lovingly for the purpose of being sweet and sour in your mouth while you read my words, preferably on a lingering summer evening that leaves you sweating even when the sun is long gone. I hope they make you feel something. XO Paloma from Astra House. So, dope. Very, very dope. I also got a cute little sticker along with my lip gloss. And they also gave me this little press release. So let's just read like what it's about. Is that included on the inside cover? Yeah, let's read the inside cover. We're professionals here. I don't need that. In this debut collection, see, like, I'm gonna do it so you can see the cover. In this debut collection of stories, Paloma Ghosh spins tales of creatures and gore to explore grief, sexuality, and bodily autonomy. Embracing the bizarre and absurd, Mouth stretches reality to reach for truth. Desiccation follows a teen figure skater with necrophiliac fantasies who is convinced the other Indian girl at the rink is a vampire. When a woman returns to Kolkata, in the fig tree, she can't tell if she is haunted by her dead mother or a Shakuni or both. Nip bottles up the consuming and addictive nature of infatuation, while Natalia is a hair-raising autopsy of an ex-lover. In Persimmons, a girl comes to terms with her own community sacrifice. Mouth is a collection full of fangs and talons that lays bare the otherwise awkward and unmentionable with a singular sharpness. Through surreal and captivating prose, Paloma Ghosh, I'm saying that right, delves into otherworldly spaces to reimagine ordinary struggles of isolation, longing, and the aching desires of our flesh. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love that it's short stories. As y'all know, usually during my reading sprints, I love some short stories to read. So this will be great. And let's get into that cover again. I love the cover. I love this color. I just love it. It's simple, but it's sexy. I love it. I'm going to read this for sure and probably set it right here. No, I gotta take a picture with this afterwards. See? We're professionals! Okay. Next is my graphic novel that I picked up at Barnes, I want to say a week and a half ago. So as you may know, I, sometime back in February, picked up the Bitterroot Omnibus from Barnes. It is amazing. It is beautiful. Honestly, I think the best way to pick up, like, comic books and graphic novels really are picking them up in a hard copy cover where they're all bound together. Personally, I mean, I love collecting comic books as much as the next person, but especially with newer comic books that release, I prefer it all in one space so I can just hit the next issue. That's all I want to do. I just want to go boom, 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 boom. So when I saw this amazing cover, I'm going to be honest, it's the cover that caught me on this. I hadn't heard about this before. I hadn't heard about this series, but just let's get into it. Look at this. The artwork, the utter artwork. I mean, the scarecrow, the Halloween girl on the front. This is definitely done with gouache and time. Like, the inside of these, let's not get a glare. There's a bit of a glare, but just amazing and gorgeous. The whole premise of The Nocturnals, which this is all about, by Dan Breton. Yeah, I got it right. Dan Breton is, well, let's read the back of it. Dan Breton's lush, innovative, action-packed stories of supernatural menace and gritty heroics are finally collected in this first volume omnibus edition, starting with Black Planet, the Eisner nominated, okay, blah, 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 blah. Nocturnals revolves around the mysterious quest of underworld enforcer and occult figure Doc Horror, his supernaturally gifted daughter Evening, aka Halloween Girl, who carries a pumpkin full of haunted toys, the Gun Witch, a silent two-gun revenant with an itch to kill monsters, the Lysum Wraith, Polychrome, and a host of hard-boiled inhuman players battling hidden evils lurking on the outskirts of human knowledge. This is released by Dark Horse Books. I have to still read this, and I want to kind of save it for October. I know my TBR just keeps on getting longer and longer for the Halloween season, but this just feels like October. It feels like Halloween season. I mean, hello, one of the characters is named Halloween Girl, and he's Doc Horror. I mean, I'm just also just completely gagged by the art in this book. Books like this, artwork like this, is what makes me go, Kelsey, you don't know how to draw. You don't know how to make art anymore because this is what's being put out there. You need to take some art classes because this is what you're up against. This, I'm obsessed. I mean, to say that I didn't buy this for really the art would be a lie. It would be an absolute lie. I almost bought 2 of these because there are 2 volumes. There's this one, which includes all of the actual issues that are out, and then the second one, which I think includes some of the back issues before they change the name or something along those lines. I figured, I love the cover, I love the artwork, let me pick up this book first, and then we can see if I want to pick up the second one, because why would I pick up another one if it's not what I want, if I'm not really feeling the story at all. So that is what I picked up recently. I can't wait to get into this and read more of it. I just feel like, even if it's at the end of September or something, but I feel it reads, like there is portions of this where like she literally, Halloween Girl, who is this, like you can see it in the back, where she pulls out of her classic Halloween pail these like forgotten cursed toys and they turn into these monsters that fight for her. What? I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy that I picked it up. It looks amazing and I'm prepared to be obsessed, to be honest. So there's that. Okay, now let's get into my free book purchases. I'm putting that in air quotes. But before we get into the books that I'm going to actually be able to read, let's get into a little snafu on my part. That was getting the audiobook of Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So some of y'all might have heard of The Husbands. This one has to deal with, it's like a literary fiction novel where basically the main character, a new husband comes out of her attic every day. Like, and he's married to her or whatever, but it's a new person, essentially. And I was like, that sounds interesting. Let me pick that up. Everybody's been reading it. Did not know it was a CD cassette tape. I don't even know why that was included. Where am I going to play this? Why would I play it? I can just listen to it on Libby. So that's getting donated. I hope that there's somebody who can love this. But, you know, that was a loss on my part. I probably should have paid more attention to what format it was in. Luckily, that was the only place where I messed up as far as that was concerned. Let's get into the rest of my books. I got The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. A lot of y'all might have heard of this book around the same time that Mexican Gothic and was what's the one? It's not The Frontier. It's called something else. Oh, it's gonna bother me what it's called. I'm gonna put a caption down at the bottom on what I'm thinking of because I know Editing Me knows exactly what I'm thinking of. But one of those Mexican Gothic type of books. I've been meaning to read something along these lines, and I may end up reading it next month for Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm hit or miss on Gothics. It's either I really love it or I'm like, I don't know how I was feeling about it. But I feel like this may be cool, especially since it's during the Mexican War of Independence, and I think that would be really interesting. Let's read the back to get an official synopsis. In the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence, a young woman is certain that her wealthy new husband and his remote estate will save her, but something sinister lurks beneath the hacienda's walls. During the overthrow of the Mexican government, Patrice's father was executed and her home destroyed. When handsome Don Rodolfo Solorzano proposes, Beatrice ignores the rumors surrounding his first wife's sudden demise, choosing instead to seize the security that his estate in the countryside provides. She will have her own home again no matter the cost. But Hacienda San Isidro is not the sanctuary she imagined. When Rodolfo returns to work in the capital, visions and voices invade Beatrice's sleep. The weight of invisible eyes follows her every move. Rodolfo's sister, Juana. Y'all, I'm practicing my Spanish. I swear my partner speaks Spanish fluently. This is horrible. Juana scoffs at Beatrice's fears, but why does she refuse to enter the house at night? Why does the cook burn copal incense at the edge of the kitchen and mark the doorway with strange symbols? What really happened to the first Doña Solorzano? Beatrice only knows two things for certain. Something is wrong with the hacienda, and no one there will save her. Desperate for help, she clings to the young priest, Padre Andres, as an ally. No ordinary priest, Andres will have to rely on his skills as a witch to fight off the malevolent presence, haunting the hacienda and protect the woman for whom he feels a powerful, forbidden attraction. But even he might not be enough to battle the darkness. Far from a refuge, San Isidro may be Beatrice's doom. That was a struggle for me to get through, I'm gonna be honest with you, and it shouldn't have been, but it sounds amazing. A forbidden love with a priest? This sounds like definitely something full of drama. I love that though. If it's gothic, give me spice. I need to be sitting there and going, clutching my pearls. If I'm not clutching my pearls, it sounds like it's gonna be pretty boring and a slow move for me. So yeah, might be reading that next month. Stay tuned. I'd probably read it near the end of the month though, because the witch stuff and everything sounds really interesting to kind of transition into the October season. So, The Hacienda, Chain Gang All-Stars. I finally got this, y'all. I've been meaning to read this for a very long time. Almost everyone in the world has already read it. However, I'm gonna get to it eventually, even if it means I'm getting to it sometime in June of next year, but I will be reading this eventually. If you don't know what this book is about, here's the synopsis. Loretta Thorwer and Harmara Hurricane Stacker are the stars of Chain Gang All-Stars, the cornerstone of CAPE, or Criminal Action Penal Entertainment, a highly popular, highly controversial, profit-raising program in America's increasingly dominant private prison industry. It's the return of the gladiators, and prisoners are competing for the ultimate prize, their freedom. In CAPE, prisoners travel as links in chain gangs, competing in death matches for packed arenas with righteous protesters at the gates. Thorwar and Stax, both teammates and lovers, are the fan favorites. And if all goes well, Thorwar will be free in just a few weeks, a fact she carries as heavily as her lethal hammer. As she prepares for her final match, she makes the ultimate act of defiance against these so-called games, a protest with devastating consequences that land like a lightning bolt of truth and offer a clear-eyed reckoning with what freedom in this country really means. Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Has been sounding amazing. Love this cover. Once again, I'm sold on a cover. But very happy to finally pick this up. Let's talk about the fact that I am a huge paperback stan now. I don't know why I was thinking that hardcovers were superior. Not in this economy. Really happy to pick this one up. I'm just happy that I finally got it. We'll see when I finally read it, but I'm happy I finally got it. It may even be January by the time I read this, but it's getting read. Classic I picked up, Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kazin. You probably watched the movie, didn't know that it was at first a book. In 1967, after a session with a psychiatrist she'd never seen before, 18-year-old Susanna Kazan was put in a taxi and sent to McLean Hospital. She spent most of the next few years in the ward for teenage girls at a psychiatric hospital as renowned for its famous clientele, Sylvia Plath, Robert Lowell, James Taylor, and Ray Charles, as for its progressive methods of treating those who could afford its sanctuary. Kazan's memoir encompasses horror and razor-edge perception while providing vivid portraits of her fellow patients and their keepers. It is a brilliant evocation. It's a brilliant evocation. Hey Siri.
Evocation. Evocation.
It is a brilliant evocation of a parallel universe set within the kaleidoscopically shifting landscape of the late 60s. Girl Interrupted is a clear-sighted, unflinching document that gives lasting and specific dimension to our definitions of sane and insane, mental illness, and recovery. I can't read today, but it sounds great. I love the movie, Girl Interrupted. It's very haunting for me. However, keep in mind, the book is, arguably even a short story, somewhat. So, excited to read it. It's 168 pages. Excited to read it. Oh, and it has photocopies of documents in it. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm excited to finally read what the movie's based off of. I'm certain that it's, considering the length of it, of course there were some, directorial liberties taken when making the movie and everything, but I also hope that this kind of digs deeper into her experience from a personal standpoint rather than something that's so theatric. So, very excited for this. We have a memoir. I know I've been collecting memoirs like crazy because I plan to read them in November alongside some indigenous horror, but I got crying in H Mart. Because I want to cry my eyes out. Everyone I've spoken to has read Crying in H Mart and has cried their eyes out. I've not heard one person who read this book and said, yeah, I didn't cry. And I love crying. So, very excited for this. Now, did I kind of low-key mess up like how I messed up on the audiobook? Kind of. This is the large print edition. But hey, the words are there. It's just in large print. When Michelle Zahner was in her mid-20s working as a waitress and struggling to launch her music career in Philadelphia, she got a call that her mother was ill. She put her life on hold and flew home to Eugene, Oregon to be with her mother through the final excruciating months of her battle with cancer. This is Zahner's serenely candid coming-of-age story of growing apart from and then back together with her Korean identity and of forging her own path in the wake of a devastating loss. With humor and heart, she tells of growing up Asian American, straining to meet her mother's expectations, moving across the country, and returning home to reckon with grief. She recalls treasured childhood holidays spent in her grandmother's tiny apartment in Seoul, and now in adulthood, learning to cook the Korean dishes that revive and nourish those moments. She savors the unexpected solace of weekly trips to her favorite Asian grocery store. Vivacious and plain-spoken, lyrical and honest, Zahner's voice is as radiantly alive on the page as it is on stage. Crying in H Mart is an exquisite debut, a book to cherish, share, and reread. Excited. Very, very excited. I am putting this along with the other memoirs that I have stacked up because I want to learn about people's lives. Only once a year, though. I am excited, though. This cover is still amazing, regardless of the large print sticker that's on the front of it, which is upsetting. But yeah, I'm also sitting here wondering if this is 400 pages in large print, how short the actual novel is when it's not in this humongous print. Honestly, this is giving I'm blind. A book is a book. A book is a book, and I anticipate to love this book. Last for my lineup of actual reading fiction books. I heard it was a Brat summer. So I picked up Brat by Gabriel Smith. A lot of people have been reading this. I've heard some good things. It seems like a wild trip. It absolutely seems like a wild trip, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to pick this up. Let's read what it's about. How about that? We meet our ill-tempered protagonist, the story's titular Brat, at a low moment, but not yet at rock bottom. The Gabriel of the novel is mourning the death of his father, as well as a recent breakup, and struggling to finish writing his second book. Alone and aimless, he agrees to move back to his parents' house to clear it out for sale. Here, the cliches end. Gabriel has trouble delivering on his promises as the moldy, overgrown house deteriorates around him. So does his health, and large sheets of his skin begin to peel from his body at a terrifying rate. In fragments and figments, Gabriel takes us on a surreal journey into the mysteries of the family home, where he finds unfinished manuscripts written by his parents that seem to mutate every time he picks them up, and a bizarre home video that hints at a long-buried secrets. Strange people and figures emerge, perhaps directly from the novel's embedded fictions, and despite his compromised state and his more successful brother's growing frustration, Gabriel is determined to try to make sense of these hauntings. Part ghost story, part grief story, flirting with the auto-fictional mode while sitting squarely in the tradition of the Gothic, Brat cackles with deadpan humor and delightfully taught prose. Gabriel Smith's arrival heralds the next generation of fiction writers, formally inventive, influenced by the rhythms of the internet, and infused with a particularly Gen Z sense of alienation, irreverent and boundary-pushing, but not for its own sake. The novel that follows is muscular yet lyrical, riddled with paradox, and told with a truly rare and compelling clarity of voice. Brat is a serious debut that refuses to take itself too seriously. Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. Especially the part where his skin is coming off in sheets. It sounds unhinged. And what's a Brat summer than being unhinged? So... And I'm an Aries. I feel like Brat Summer was literally, the Brat aesthetic was made for the Aries. So, excited to read this. When will I read it? I don't know. I mean, that's becoming kind of the question with a lot of these books, is when are you going to read this? Are you just stacking them up for next year at this point? Because September is all I only want to read Latinx authors, maybe some translated fiction and everything from South American countries, Spanish speaking. You know, I think that's all I want to do in September. October is made for the classics. I've already got my TBR. I mean, it kind of keeps on growing a little bit, but if it's like, I already know it's Slewfoot for sure. Silence of the Lambs for sure. I'm finally reading The Exorcist. Maybe Rosemary's Baby. The Nocturnals I want to read as a graphic novel. And at one point it was Flowers in the Attic. I don't know if I'm going to read Flowers in the Attic now. I think that I may have to wait on that one. But that's basically a TBR. There's a sneak peek of my TBR for October. November, I want to read memoir, nothing but memoirs and indigenous horror. December is... Maybe I'll read some of these in December, because I'm not really one for, like, Christmas horror, although I do want to read Krampus by Brom. I don't really want to read much else Christmassy, because I'm not a huge fan of the Christmas horror stuff, personally, but I've never read Christmas horror. I've just never really gotten into it. So, I don't know. Maybe this will get read during that time. Who knows? December feels like a free-for-all for me to just try and knock out as many as I can, so that I don't start off the year with such a humongous physical TBR shelf, which just seems to keep growing and will grow even more, because I may have ordered 20 books with my 60% off discount, because today was the last day of my internship and I wanted to take advantage of the discount. It's all a write-off. Let's get into the cookbooks real quick before we end this video. So, last are the cookbooks. I know that some may be like, Kelsey, you wasted 4 full books on cookbooks and you're not even really a chef type of person. And to that, I may tell you, yes, absolutely. That is absolutely something that I did. So, one thing that I started off with was Cook As You Are by Ruby Tando. This is author of Eat It Up. I don't know. I don't even know who this chef is, but what it said was recipes for real life hungry cooks and messy kitchens. I'm a real life hungry cook, and I tend to leave a messy kitchen, so I picked it up. Now, did I look through here and there seems to be a lot of vegetarian options? Absolutely. I kind of was talking to my partner, and I think that it's, considering also the cook's name, I didn't look them up, but it's not marketed as this. But I think that it's supposed to be a bit leaning towards if you're Muslim, or if you don't eat meat, or something along those lines, especially considering, like, the artwork on the front of it. I'm thinking that like, a lot of it is kind of leaning in that direction. Like, the recipes that this cook knows are mainly leaning in that direction, and that's why there aren't a lot of meat recipes in here. That's not to say that there doesn't seem to be really good recipes in here. Like, one pan smashed potatoes with lemony sardines and pesto. Am I a huge fan of sardines? No, but when it was put together like that, it kind of sounds really good. Let's see here. Roast chicken thighs with spiced cauliflower, cranberries, and herbs. That sounds delicious. Delicious. Let's see here. What else is in here? Gnocchi with harissa, butter, and broccoli. See, so I'm okay with it. These all seem really great. It seems obtainable. I need, short pasta with sauerkraut, caramelized onions, and sour cream. That I don't know about that one. But, you know, it seems really good. It seems like these are approachable recipes. I needed something that was approachable because I am not a cook at all. But I have started going back to the gym and I feel a lot better, and I really want to make an effort to eating healthier and making my food every week. But the problem is that I can eat something all week, but I have to make it. And one, it can't be daunting. Like, I can't be like in the kitchen for 4 hours. That just don't work for me. And also, it's got to be something quick, but like I can switch it up very often because I get bored. So like I get bored like week to week, not necessarily like, oh, I need to eat something different all week. If it's good, I'll eat it all week. But after about 2 weeks, we need something different, you know? So that's kind of why I stocked up on all these different recipe books. I have a recipe box, which I have a lot of family recipes in, and I really want to keep on stocking up on recipes so that I can go in there instead of going on my phone and looking up things, so that it's kind of digestible and not I have a ton of screenshots on my phone that I have to sort through or I forget or whatever. That was the thought process behind buying all of these cookbooks. So that was the first one that we picked up. Next was Latinismo. So this one, home recipes from the 21 countries of Latin America. I was interested in this because, as I've mentioned, my partner is Mexican, and you know, I'm looking for, so both of us are looking for recipes that we can, one, that taste like the stuff that we really love, but are also maybe a bit healthier. This shrimp stew looks delicious, but also like learning some new things to try out and really like. I remember we were in some bookstore and he was looking at this book specifically, so that's really why I picked it up, because I remember he was looking at it and we both agreed that it seemed like there were some really good recipes in here, and that they were obtainable and something to build off of. So we got this one. Not these, they're cookbooks. We're not reinventing the wheel when describing these books. Next was something, both of these, you may know these cooks, and you may recognize them from a long off time when the test kitchen was really in style before they started all the controversy. First and foremost, Claire Saffit's Dessert Person cookbook. I have been wanting this since she released it some years back, because in all honesty, my favorite cake recipe is a Claire Saffit's recipe. So both me and my partner love her recipes for desserts. So when I saw that this was available, I picked it up so fast. I can't wait to try out some of these things in here. Like, let me see here. Let's just turn to something. What is this? It looks like a blueberry something or another that I want. Coffee cake. Coffee cake. Amazing. Wonderful. What else is in here? Oh, St. Louis gooey butter cake. Ah, delicious. Ah. So yeah, I picked up this Dessert Person cookbook so quick because I've been wanting it for a very long time. And surprisingly enough, the go-to birthday cake recipe that me and my partner are obsessed with in here. Oh, there's a Meyer lemon tart in here. Is included in this book, which is great because we're always looking for it online, and we are afraid of the day when it's like taken down off of the site, or the site just disappears, because as we know, sites have been having a tendency to do that as of late. So I picked up this. And last but not least, I also got Sola's cookbook. This is Start Here, Instructions on Becoming a Better Cook. I always loved Sola when she was on the test kitchen, and because I just liked her demeanor. But also, she had such a, like, very home, practical way of approaching so many of the recipes they were doing, whereas some of the other chefs were very much like, yes, I went to chef school, and this, and then she was just like, I just like how things taste, you know? And I would love that. So I picked this up very quickly, and I'm glad that I did, because I feel so many of these recipes seem very approachable and very much not like trying to be more than what it is. Like, they're not trying to dress it up too much and everything. Now, some of them are definitely a lot, turmeric potatoes with a whole lot of lemon. That sounds delicious. Basic crumble. Yep. Seared scallops with pepperoni, sun golds, and corn. Going to Browntown on some mussels here. What else here? Brothy same-day slow roast whole chicken. Yep. Taco party black beans. 4 fat jammy egg tacos. Collards and corn with ranch dressing. Super savory tomato salad. It sounds delicious. I've already started marking off things. I'm supposed to be making this for my meal prep this week, which is, wait a second, hold on a minute. The classic curried chicken salad. We wanted to start off with something nice and slow and easy. And I love curry and I love chicken salad, and so I should love it. And then crispy skinned salmon with radishes and nakcham. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Now I'm realizing that I might have got the wrong salmon. Oh, I really hope that I didn't get the wrong salmon, because that's kind of part of the point. But yeah, both of those are supposed to be getting cooked this week for my meal prep. 1, we'll see if I actually cook it. 2, we'll see if it's any good. I think that it will be. All of this seems, again, really approachable. See, this is a steak recipe. My mouth is watering. I need to eat something. Let's wrap this video up. So that is it for our book haul today, y'all. Like I said, something a little bit quick. I just kind of wanted to show off what is being added to these shelves that seem to be taking over. To be honest with you, I'm kind of starting, there's a corner over here that is right in front of me that has had a plant in it for quite some time, along with my record player and some speakers, and I'm starting to think that the plant's nearly dead. And maybe we should just place some more bookshelves in that corner. We should expand because the amount of books are overwhelming, and I don't think that it's going to necessarily slow down. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, what I maybe decide to do. There may be a whole bookshelf video coming up soon, which I know y'all love because y'all are still watching my Organize My Bookshelf and Unhaul With Me video. So we'll see, because another book haul will be coming in just a few more weeks amongst all of the Halloween goodness that's happening. So I will say that while I'm reading House of Leaves, which is going great right now, it's just as creepy as I remember it, but I'm kind of experiencing it very differently because I know how the end of the book is, and I know and everything. I can focus on other things that I wasn't paying attention to before, which has been amazing. But there will be a vlog coming out about that next month. So instead of like a full-on, there may or may not be a wrap-up video for this month, just because of how kind of unorthodox it is compared to my like usual months. But there will definitely be a vlog of me experiencing House of Leaves, along with a book haul, another book haul video, amongst all the crafting and Halloween goodness that's about to happen. As you can see, I'm so excited to share all of that stuff with you, along with what my experience has been with with House of Leaves, and me stacking up on books like they're going out of style. So if any of that sounds great to you and a fun time, please subscribe down below. If you got to the end of this video, please share with me, when was the last time you did an unhaul? Because I feel one coming on this January when I end up doing my unhaul, my beginning of the year unhaul. Oh, it's going to be a fun time. A very hard time, but it will be a fun time. So when was the last time you did an unhaul? I would love to know so that I don't feel so alone in how many books I've been stacking up lately. But like this video if you liked anything that you saw today. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!